hop on. Because we've got 48 pages of agenda to discuss.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe more. Yeah, maybe more by the time we get done.
Oh my God.
I don't think so.
Would you like to begin with
Unless it's,
or?
yeah, go ahead. If you want to share screen, Omi. And right off the bat, we can move the employment agreements for the interim city manager and interim attorney consent. But we're not there yet, I know.
All right, hold on a minute, Mom. There we go. All right, for GPC, so far we have boards, commissions, and committees review. And this is just a follow up to an item that we brought before you already. And then our GPC administrative session for the meeting on December 9th. We will update the language there. And then of course, there's a discussion as well added to this meeting about the city commission rules. And we'll have some backup to add here as well.
All right.
All right, on to the regular agenda, October 21st. Forgive me for bothering your eyes from scrolling too fast. The first item is the approval of several meeting minutes of the commission. And then the removal of one member from the Police Advisory Council for non-compliance with attendance. Resignations from the Historic Preservation Board. And then appointments to City Commission advisory boards and committees. I don't see Ginger, so I'll read this one. Audit of administration of management of Evergreen Cemetery operations. I believe it's just a report.
Yeah, just so for any commissioners on here, these all came out of Audit and Finance Committee. And so the committee simply recommended that we forward these for the commission's consideration. So we had Evergreen on there. The auditor's quarterly update. You can keep going, Madam Clerk.
We have the fraud risk management policy. And I think this is these. Jerry, that's Ed.
Oh, yeah, the approval of a consulting agreement for disaster reimbursement consulting services. We've that's from Claudia's group to structure this so that we have more adequate recovery. Sorry. Yeah, this was the interesting one. I thought was more interesting. We only respond to very few of our customer service interactions, and this would add some AI capabilities where we could have a more thorough evaluation of our customer contacts. The ever popular GRU operational updates.
Then we go to the Felix defense. You guys heard this item before. This memorializes the action that the commission directed us to take. Next item is the Hal Bazaar lease agreement. That's the space at the in the parking garage. Then we have the Community Land Trust staff ranking so that we're authorized to move forward.
A question on that one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that a commitment to choose that recommended vendor?
What we would be doing is negotiating with them, and if we can't come to an agreement, then we would go to number 2.
Yeah, I'd like to pull that. I don't want to lengthen the meeting, but I'd like to have a conversation about it. And if that means a separate meeting, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, let's just strike it. And I don't see any reason why we couldn't put that on the GPC meeting. I mean, I know we're trying not to do that, but it is a discussion item, I guess. Do you have any objection to that, Omi?
Also, that's CA 13.
Right.
I'd
Strike
prefer
that and
we,
put it on the GPC
could we
meeting.
just move it to the November commission meeting?
That's fine. That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, then we have our cart size evaluation. This is where we're going to be looking at how people are utilizing their garbage carts and seeing if they're eligible for downsizing. So it lays out our program for that. CA 15 is our quarterly report of investment performance for our various funds. 16 is a request for a workshop on the comp plan. 17 is a request for a special meeting for St. Michael's. 18 is a sub-grant for our police department's motorcycle safety scooter and other traffic programs from FDOT. CA 19, we're starting to move releases of liens to the consent agenda unless we see that there's a issue with them. And let the commission pull them if you believe there is. CA 20 is the ratification of our ATU contract through 24. I know that there's you'd like to take those on the discussion, but because of the length of the agenda, we're putting them on the consent. CA 21 is the award of our homeowner education campaign with Three Rivers. 22 is our Inspire grant with the state of Florida. Next one is Nicole's.
Yes, 23 is just getting authorization to pay an outstanding invoice and to authorize a new cap going forward for legal outside counsel fees and costs for this litigation and the claims bill process.
And then 24 and 25 are releases of liens. And then two items that you don't see here is the lot 10 purchase and sale agreement and the Southwest 62nd Boulevard Construction Award, which would be both on consent.
Okay.
Then we have the some appointments to the GCRA and SCRAB.
Then the discussion on Old Fire Station 1, which was moved from a previous agenda. The discussion, next item BD3 is the discussion of the Housing Action Plan. That can be pushed off a meeting if.
Yeah, okay, then let's do that. Let's put that either on GPC or the first meeting in November.
Yeah, this would be probably is more policy oriented versus action.
Sure, okay, let's put it on GPC then.
Okay. Then the next item is our greenhouse gas inventory report, and again, a request for this to be a time certain.
Do you know what time?
Let's shoot for, oh gosh.
Maybe 3:30?
I was thinking 2:30.
2:30? Okay.
Yeah.
BD5 is Wild Spaces update and discussion regarding adding bathrooms to two parks that weren't currently in the plan. We could push this to November as well.
Let's push it.
BD6 is our discussion regarding University Avenue and 13th Street, and we'd like to have a time certain for this one.
Let's try to make that 3:30.
BD7 is our Ethernet agreement with GFR and GroupCom. BD8 is not mine. Okay.
Canvassing board appointment for the special election. And then I'm assuming these are the two that we'll be moving to the consent agenda for BD9 and BD10.
Yeah, correct, Madam Clerk. And for the canvassing board appointment, I know that I have seen emails from two different people, Harvey Budd and Anna Prizia.
Right.
Have you gotten anybody else?
No, those are the only two.
Okay, very good, thanks.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah, go ahead, Adrian.
do you want to move that one to earlier in the meeting in case one of them wants to show up? Or I don't know, they might not show up or not, but
Yeah, we could put that first on the agenda.
Okay.
Hopefully
And,
it'll take a lot of time.
and this is just a question, it may be more for Nicole, but can a county commissioner serve on a city canvassing board?
Don't know. We can certainly look into that.
Yeah, I'm guessing yes, because it's just I mean, a city commissioner is required, but then I think a citizen at large, as long as she is I don't even know if she has to be a resident of Gainesville, but I think she is. But anyway, yeah, let's find out. I'm pretty sure it's okay.
Okay. BD11 is a requirement that we notice first our intent to contract the city with regard to the Weyerhaeuser property. So we're not anticipating any discussion. This is just noticing that we'll be having an ordinance in a future meeting.
Then BD12 is Commissioner Adrian Hayes Santos discussion of county utility right-of-way agreement with the city of Gainesville. And I do expect some backup here.
Adrian, can that wait?
sure. Yeah, it's not a rush.
Okay.
To
Pull it.
November 4th.
Well, yeah. We'll put a placeholder there. Hopefully that meeting isn't too crazy.
It's not a rush. Hopefully it won't be a long conversation either, but
Okay.
We have a couple of proclamations: American Pharmacist Month, October 2021, and Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
And then this first redistricting resolution just memorializes the discussion that you had at the GPC, where you wanted a resolution that would just set forth the process, intent, and criteria. So I don't think we expect to make any big presentation or to have much discussion unless you all want.
Okay.
And then GRU is asking for an allonge to the variable rate subordinated bonds, which is just an lengthening of the term. That's your French lesson for the day.
And this next one, you all might recall that the city acted as a conduit financer for the Oak Hammock retirement community. And so they're just making some revisions to their note and financing obligations. So it just requires this resolution to authorize the city to sign the necessary documents.
And then we'll have two more resolutions. One is a budget amendment, and the second is a authorization regarding a conservation wetlands issue with regard to the 62nd Boulevard construction.
We have one non-binding resolution, Commissioner David Ariola, resolution in support of advancing reproductive freedom.
And then a number of ordinances on second reading: Oak Hall land use change, Oak Hall rezoning, rezoning for Lincoln Ventures property. Then a text change for some FEMA mandated updates. Second reading of the revisions to the Registry of Protected Places listing, the renaming of certain city parks. The next one. Then some changes to the text of the code regarding parking meters, parking lots, parking garages. Then on adoption readings, so there'll just be one reading of this. There's a land use change on South Main Street. And then, Omi, I would suggest there's a rezoning that's the next item, that's 200879, and that's the companion to that other South Main. So maybe we could insert that as the first reading ordinance. And then the second one will be the text change to delete the minimum transect zoning requirement. And then that's that rezoning that will move up top. And then there are a series of voluntary annexations, one for 282 acres, the Henderson annexation, and 59 acres, which is the Fred Bear Health Park.
And then breakfast is served.
10 p.m.
Oh, could
Yep,
I add?
No later than 10 p.m.
Could I add that on the Allange resolution, that we'll also add the UAB recommendation on that? I forgot to mention that.
Thank you. I mean, that's a full meeting, but it's doable. There's some big, deep discussion items for sure, but there's also a lot of those second readings. So I think if we stay focused, we can get through it. Any other questions? I will just say that I had a productive meeting with Dan Nee, and so we agreed on terms and principles. So his backup should be ready. I think he's forwarded that to Steve Varvel. I still, Madam Clerk, need to schedule a meeting with Ms. Curry. So I don't know if that's been scheduled or not. That still needs to happen. Any other questions? I don't want to know about any concerns.
But does Dan have to have the agreement looked at by an attorney?
Actually does. It is signed off by another attorney in our office.
Oh, my goodness.
And Mayor, I may also have an additional proclamation or two or special recognition at minimum to add to the agenda.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right, well, I'm laying sod if anyone wants to come over. I've got only a half a pallet, so it's not bad. All right, appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Adjourn.